Welcome to Music Motors and welcome to something a little different. This is the Jaguar XJ. Now, I've not given it a model year because realistically, since 2015, the XJ hasn't really been updated much. You have a few extra bits and bobs technologically, but from an exterior point of view and for the most part, it hasn't changed. So really, let's call this a 2019 Jaguar XJ. This is a portfolio. This one starts on the road before options, £70,000. Yep, that's half a house in certain parts of the country. But really, this is a house on wheels, so it's cost effective in that regards. It's a car which is ridiculously capable and comfortable and looks amazing, but equally is just the perfect daily. It's a car which is capable to do absolutely anything you throw at it, from city driving to motorway driving to track driving. The XJ can do anything and everything without question, and has been able to do so since they were first created. So here's a 2019-ish Jaguar XJ. If you are looking at buying a brand new XJ, then this segment of the video is probably of absolutely no interest to you, because I'm talking about fuel economy, and let's be honest, the price of this car new, you don't care about fuel economy. But if you're buying one of these second-hand, well, these are a bit of a bargain. So you're probably like me, as in you're already planning to get one of these because the second-hand values are cheap as chips in comparison to the new. What fuel economy is it going to get then? So I actually have no idea. I suspect it's going to be quite good because the fuel needle doesn't move very much, regardless of how much you drive it or how hard you drive it. Let's find out. So this is just a normal around town economy run, and I'll see you on the other end. When you consider the size of this vehicle, when you consider the type of performance that you can get and the class of vehicle it is, that is really substantially better fuel economy than I could have even considered to have got from it around town. That's not even on the motorway, and that's not even the best. That was with traffic. Imagine without it, because within reason, because of the torque and the amount of brake horsepower, no matter how many people you put inside it, no matter how much stuff you're carrying, within reason you're kind of going to get around that anyway. Comfortable, easy to drive, great visibility, amazing sound system. This is a fantastic daily. The best place to start, I think, is the outside, where the XJ has this massively understated yet beautiful design. Now, the front end has been updated a little bit, let's be honest. So obviously this kind of design came out for them in 2008, 2009. And the back end hasn't changed. It's still got those kind of claw design, but the front end has been updated to go with Jaguar's new design language. However, they've kind of kept that nice, beautifully, effortlessly prestige feel, which I think the exterior of the XJ has without question. This one has 20-inch diamond cut alloy wheels, which kind of go with the portfolio spec, and they look amazing. Now, surprisingly, they take the road really, really well, and thanks to the fantastic suspension, mean that you feel like you're gliding along, and these look amazing, feel amazing. You don't worry too much about curbing them, which is a nice change for 20-inch alloys, I'm going to be honest. Up the front, you do have that traditional big Jaguar grille. This is kind of part of their new design language, which you'll see in XF, XE, and obviously XJ, F-Pace, F-Type. It's all part of their new design language, with the light cluster being part of that new front end as well. That's kind of where the new on the outside ends, because the side is very much as you've known and loved since that 2009 kind of design, and the back end hasn't really changed much too. The difference being the light clusters on the back have been updated, and they're considerably brighter than they were on the 2009 models. Bits have been changed, little bits here and there, but for the most part, it's that same beautifully designed, luxurious, and you call it an affluent exterior, because it does just look, you look at this car and you go, that car looks like money, because it looks like money. But amazingly though, because of the way that Jag design their cars, unlike other brands who have expensive cars like this, people don't look at you in jealousy and hatred. They appreciate and love the design of this. You don't get negative comments about this, which is just, it's a nice change when you're driving around something which costs as much as half a house. Driving on a motorway, it's normally the ultimate time to see just the extent of the better fuel economy you can get, and being an XJ, sitting on the motorway cruising, this should do very well. So I'm going to sit on the motorway and just see what silly figure potentially I can get at 65 miles an hour. if other drivers don't annoy me and I end up at 70. When you bear in mind the fact that realistically Jag say that it can turn around that fuel economy and a bit more, you think, okay, maybe on a better run without the wind against me, with less ups and downs, you're going to get what they say. Because really, let's be honest, when they do these figures, they are like ideal circumstances. I sat at 65 to 70 miles an hour for that whole duration and turned around that fuel economy, which I think is just ridiculously good. And when you're on the motorway, you just smoothly kind of skate along like you're on clouds. It's quiet, it's comfortable, super easy to drive. So comfortable, I could genuinely fall asleep. So, really good going on there on the motorway. Moving from that beautifully finished Loire blue exterior to an equally beautifully finished interior. When you step into the XJ, you just get this pure sense of luxury and comfort and brilliant build quality. When you get into the driver's seat, you have these amazingly comfortable seats which hold you, finished in this kind of jet patterned finish. You have an amazing digital display in front of you which can give you a full map view. You have this epic bonnet in front of you. But equally, whilst this is a big car, it does have a relatively small and comfortable feeling inside. Originally I thought, oh, this is a bit of a small interior, but in the real world, it's not. It's actually comfortable, and especially for your backseat passengers, plentiful with space. Now, your amenities are fantastic. You do have a radar-guided cruise system, which also gives you this assisted radar front in case someone pulls in front of you. However, it can be a little bit overly sensitive. A vehicle can pull off a slip road some 100 meters in front of you and it will go off. If you don't respond immediately to something, it shouts at you as if to say, watch out, you insert word here, there's something in front of you. The Meridian surround system, which is standard in the XJ, 825 watts of pure bliss. Aside from a couple of other systems, the Meridian is basically the best you can get, and there is actually an upgrade system which I think is about £4.5 grand option, which takes this beautiful, fantastic interior sound system to a whole new level. But this system is fantastic, and as a standard system, amazing. You do also have things like you have TV, you've got front and rear heated and cooled seats, the front seats get massage, and the front seats hold you fantastically well, which is great when you're throwing this around corners, because as you'll find out in a bit, you can throw this around corners. Inside visibility is actually decent, although the rear window is quite small. You do have blind spot sensors, you do have a surround view camera, so realistically you don't end up struggling too much driving it around town, because if you can't see something, well, the car can. I guess you're probably wondering how big the boot is, and realistically it's not actually much bigger than an XF. It has a little bit more room at the back, but within reason the same kind of size. Considering it's a much bigger car, it's a little bit surprising. But that said, that also means that it isn't the smallest boot in the world, because the XF actually has a pretty big boot for its class. So move over to the next segment and it's still a decent size. So I'm going to show you just how much stuff I get in, and this gig test, this first part of it, has a little bit more than I would normally put in, because I'm doing something involving 4 violins shortly. You join me in the back of the XJ, because gig test time. I've already put all the equipment in the back. I'm going to my gig and I want to talk about comfort, general combined fuel economy. Although it's a lot of motorway, there is a lot of non-motorway, so a general combined run, seeing what we get. Now, there's no point putting you up front, because where would you want to be in an XJ? In the back. I have arrived, excuse me, as I walk through to get some cover so I'm not completely blown out by wind. 41 miles per gallon combined, super comfortable. That's frugality considering the type of vehicle it is. It's just such a pleasurable car to drive. It's worth every single penny. Really impressive. I think if it had just been motorway, it would have got significantly better, but considering it's combined, decent. Now it's time to try something a little different with it. Performance-wise, the XJ is actually quite surprising. This isn't a big fancy V8, this is a 3-litre V6 diesel. It's got 300 PS, it's got 700 Newton meters of torque, and it can propel you to well over 155 miles an hour extraordinarily quickly. Around town, they claim that you're going to see around about 40 miles per gallon. You're probably going to get about 48 combined, and on a run you'll get 54, 55. Now, real world terms, you're actually likely to see about 33 around town, 40-ish combined, and probably about 45, 46 on a run. When I was very lucky, I did see 53 miles to the gallon on the run, but I was driving at 60 just on the motorway with no traffic. Best case scenario. But the size of this vehicle, the type of vehicle this is, to be able to turn that around and give you real punch and driving characteristics, to me that's an absolute no-brainer. What a great engine. I'm going to take a bit of a diversion because my normal route has changed, so I'm going to continue with the driving characteristics of this, because on the back roads you'd be really surprised to hear that you can have a lot of fun. Driving feel is great, brake pedal feel great, throttle response imminent, gearbox ZF8 speed, really exactly what you want. Really, when it comes to an everyday driving point of view, you find it quite easy and relaxing because the fuel economy is more than substantial enough, but then equally when you're at the weekend and you're on the back road, you can really go for it. From a driving point of view, it's just remarkable how Jag have made a vehicle of this size be able to perform as well as it does, to hug as much as it does in the corners, and it just responds instantly. And that's, you know, I can see now why the Prime Minister has one, because you can get away from things a little bit quicker and more nimbly, I think that's a word, than you would think you ever could. The XJ, as a summary, is an interestingly epic car, which new value, 70 grand for a portfolio, and you can have upper models and there are lower trim models. If you don't want to spend 70 grand though, find one 3 years old and over 60% of that price has dropped off. So from a second-hand point of view, if you get one 3 years old, you are having one of the best value for money cars that I think second-hand money can buy. This is stupidly luxurious, really capable, decently frugal, safe. It's not going to cost you the world to buy, to own, to service, to run if you buy it second-hand. If you buy it brand new and you're a chauffeur, you're going to have it on monthly anyway, and you're going to write that off against your expenses, right? If you're not a chauffeur, then you're picking the right car anyway, because you're going to feel like you want to be chauffeured everywhere. The outside looks simply incredible, effortless styling, and it's up to date. However, this is going to be an old shape soon, and they are going to be upgrading and updating the exterior. I have no doubt about that. Probably an EV engine type or a hybrid V6 petrol or something like that. When you get inside, it is just quiet, refined, easy on a run. You don't question it. You just want to be in it. It's so comfortable and perfect on a run. I really didn't want to get in any other car after this because it's so amazing. The rear seat amenities and comfort levels are unquestionable, as you would expect in a vehicle of this type. And when you're on bumpy roads, well, you don't feel it. The performance, I can't question. It does everything you want and more, especially when you consider the type of vehicle it is. And I'll just bring it back again. Effortless Jaguar styling. It has it by bundles. And while this is a probably outgoing model now, I can't wait to see what Jag come up with next, because if you look at things like the I-Pace, again, a fantastic looking SUV, they're going to take that new design language they've got, put it into an XJ with all their new technology and probably part EV powertrain, and they're going to just smash it out the ballpark. Jag make the best looking luxury cars I think money can buy. Don't knock BMW, don't knock Mercedes, but Jag have absolutely nailed it on every single car they've ever made, except some of the early 2000s, but let's not mention those. Next.